Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic that I have for this week, I'd like to quickly say if you'd like to know one or two things about this community, Life for Living Well, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. If you also would like to be the first to get the notification for the article that published on the community platform or the podcast on the platforms that we release it into, or even the video log on the YouTube, you can also be able to sign up by your email, and then it will be dropped into your mailbox once a week. And let's dive in without taking much of your time. Firstly, I have to say I have an exciting topic that I want to share with you guys this week, and what I personally call what have I learned from running a marathon. And I hope by the time we dive into it, you will find one or two things about some of the qualities that I've discovered running marathons, and it might be really, really helpful in your life right now or in the future. And I do not use this topic to suggest to you that you should go start a marathon as well. But it's a great skills to able to take what you learn in one environment and try to deploy it in another environment. And you will see this kind of example a lot in motorsport, where the combination of different environments are being put into one in order to optimize the performance of the car. So let's dive in without much ado. So the topic this week is what I call what have I learned from running a marathon. And as we normally do is to take one individual and then build around it. So for this particular message, I'm taking from Emil Zatopek. And what is Emil put? How does Emil conditions going to help us? So Emil put it this way: if you want to run a mile. If you want to experience a different life, run a marathon. And Emily is absolutely spot on. And that's why I chose this particular quote to start the message. So, marathon running, personally, I'm not sure if I've managed to share my experience on this platform, but this topic gave me a particular opportunity to look back a few years back and look at all those marathons that I've been privileged to engage with, and what are the lessons that I've took from those marathons, and I've embraced it to my day-to-day life. And I wanted to share those experiences with you guys as you listen to this podcast as well. So, marathon running has taught me lessons that extend far beyond sport itself, offering valuable insights, which is applicable to many areas of life. And you will find out by the time or during this message, before we get to the end, you'll find out what I mean, how it's applicable to many areas of life. So, in my personal journey, running has been a cherished hobby, both in the past and to an extent now. So, part of the joy of marathon running comes from traveling to participate in events, experiencing diverse cultures, meeting new people, and most importantly, relaxing and having fun. So, and meeting new people is just the ice or decoration on the cake. To visiting the place is actually the cake. And to run the marathon is actually a icing on top of it. Meeting the people is icing on top of it. Experiencing the culture is icing or decoration on top of my cake. But actual cake is to experience the place, and using marathon as a motivation to go there was very helpful at that time. That allowed me to run across the globe and different countries. Most, not all the country, but all the continents in the world. Apart from the relaxing and having fun, it also things that allow me to look forward to. So, as one of the oldest sports, marathon running is a low-cost activity that builds endurance and sharpens mental agility. So, reaching the point where I was ready to run a marathon took months of preparation and self-discovery. It took complete several marathons before I could distill or abstract the lesson I wanted to share with you today. It's not just a one marathon that brought all this thing out. It's many marathons that I was able to run that really helped me when you reflecting about it and took the lesson and then used those lessons to improve the next one, to improve your race. So while endurance is often the first quality admired in marathon runners, emotional management, psychological resilience, and adrenaline control on race day are equally critical. And if you are not able to manage all those three that I mentioned, you have a chance to not able to finish the race, and worst, you may acquire injury. So how you manage these elements often determines whether you will cross the finish line. So here are the lessons I've learned from marathon running, which have also shaped my day-to-day life. I've took them into my own life, not fully 100%, but I'm working toward that. But I fully embrace all those three lessons in my day-to-day life. And I'm hoping that by the time we go through it, you maybe find one or two things that you say, wow, I have not tried that. I want to give that a try. So number one, planning and intention. It is important to have the clarity of goals and you're able to set your planning in motion, and your planning will contain so many different steps or few steps in some cases. And then it's also important to have the intentions while you are doing it, because you won't have the motivation all the time to do the right thing. You won't have the motivation to take a step that you need to take, probably because it's too cold, it's too wet. But if you have the intention and you buy into those intentions, you will have enough ingredient to fulfill or take a step that you need to take. So setting intentions and priority is crucial. In a marathon, this priority might include completing the race, avoiding the injury, and achieving specific finish time. So personally, when I go for marathon, I set my intention based on the priority. The highest priority personally for me is to make sure that I complete the race. And the second high priority on my list is to avoid the injury. And the last one is to ensure that I can finish the finish time that I set before I start the race. So decisions made during the race, such as adjusting the pace or slowing down by listening to my body, my emotions, is to ensure these priorities are met. So, and sometimes it will require that targeting a finish time might actually become an obstacle in finish the race because I got myself injured. So in order not to do that is to remind myself my highest priority is to complete the race. So it might require that instead of trying to run on the pace of people I do not know, I did not train with, I wanted to finish the same time as elite runner, even though I did not train with them. It may actually result for me not able to finish my race because I got myself injured. So remind myself my priority and readjust it appropriately. So similarly in life, careful planning and flexibility help us navigate challenges and achieve goals. So sometimes the end result is not the most important thing. It's the process that drives you there. If your intention is to solve problem, and the bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward that will come for you. But most people focus too much on the reward. I want the money. I want to earn this. What problem you are trying to solve? If you're trying to solve a bigger problem, if you're trying to solve a real problem, even not a bigger problem, you definitely will come with a reward that will follow it. So here, I'm showing you how to focus a lot on the process that will take you through those journey. And in life, most things are not linear. It's not if you do 1 + 1 we give you 2. Life will have another way of showing you that the world and the life is not linear, and it's your ability to adjust, to be more flexible, that will help you to achieve the objective that you wanted to achieve. You might wanted to achieve it in 1 month, it might end up taking you 12 months. But the most important thing that you are not making yourself too rigid to the point that you become paralyzed and not able to move or take steps. So even though your steps are slow, in as much you are not standstill, you're still making a progress. And this is one lesson that running marathon taught me, and I really want to share it to you. So because of time, let's move to number 2. Number 2 on my list is preparation. Once intentions are set, preparation becomes key. Following a training manual that suits your body and lifestyle is essential, especially if you are training solo. So in my own cases, it's really difficult for me to train in the evening because I become extra super alert that I'm not able to fall asleep in time. Many people say when they do 2 hours run, that's when their body feels so tired and they want to sleep. But I noticed that if I do it late in the evening after work, I'm not able to fall asleep easily. I become super alert. And so I switch over my training to be the first thing to do in the morning when I get up before I start anything. So I take it out of the way. And that also creates a lot of benefit for me because I become super alert all day without have to take a coffee in the meeting. I become really alert and attentive, focused to what I'm doing. So it helps me in those ways. So and also, part of your preparation is to ensure that you're able to understand the terrain that you're going to run, and then you can simulate those with your training when you are training for the marathon. So, such as running on a similar terrain and committing to consistent daily practice, regardless of weather or season. So, and why you have to do this is to prepare both your body and mind for the event. So the same thing in our day-to-day life. It is important to embrace preparation. We must not always have to react to things. We must not always have to just go with the flow all the time. We must be able to prepare and follow the process that we know that it works with for us. So if you are kind of person that would need a few hours to study, you don't need to compare or copy your friends or your siblings, that they just need a few seconds to do the same thing. So play and build on your strength. And that's the most important thing that I really want to share with you. And the last one on the lesson that I learned from marathon is discipline. People talk about discipline. People say it about discipline. When you see an army or police officer, they represent discipline, right? But each one of us, we also need discipline to make things happen, to get things done, to relating with other people, to manage our time, to look after ourselves. We need discipline. So we even need discipline from what we put into our body. So discipline ties planning and preparation together, the two that I first mentioned earlier. So it takes immense focus to stick to your plan and training schedule. So just imagine on a race day, discipline is even more critical. Resisting the temptation to overexert yourself due to adrenaline, managing mental and emotional stress, and overcoming fatigue require constant self-control. You have to be able to be in control of this. If you let your adrenaline control you, you will not finish your race. It is impossible. You will see people falling over beside the water table. You will see people so super happy because they see a lot of people doing the same thing, and they were thought that that's going to be enough for them to finish it. And it's not how fast you go or how slow you go. It is the consistency that you have built up during your training that will help you through this phase. So the same thing in our life, in what we do. If you wanted to get anything done, we needed to know how to set a focus and knowing a time of the day that we are super alert, super focused, super productive, and try a lot of things to block it and do what needful to be done for that day. And then we can look back and say, I've done well today. So bringing this to the end because of time. Behind every successful marathon finish lies carefully planning, mental preparation, unwavering discipline. These micro stages in a runner's mind help ensure a fulfilling and injury-free experience. So personally, to extract this lesson, you must first become aware of your emotions, motivations, and performance. Why are you doing this? So this is the question that every time you wanted to take a new path, you wanted to do new things, or what you are doing currently, it is important to stop and ask ourselves a question. Why are we doing it? So if we have a virtues or values that are driving us to do it, then we should take the right step. We should be able to set our intention, have our plan. We should be able to create a preparation for it, a guide or process that we follow, that will help us. And most especially, we should have a discipline enough to bring all these things together. So you don't have to run a marathon to embrace this lesson. Apply them to your everyday life and witness the positive changes they bring to your world. I hope this message helps someone. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.